Hi everyone, Jared here with Day Traders FX. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and got some good rest and had some fun, and I hope you're all excited to get back to the market as well. We had a great, excellent start to the week. We had two trades. I'm going to show you on the euro dollar and euro yen, banked about 30 pips on each trade through the UK session. And then the US session was a little bit quiet, a couple of reversals, a couple of things, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment. But as you can see, the U.S. markets are about to close in 5 minutes or so here. Oil has recovered from the mid 78 range, 78, 40, 50. Gold has started a nice little hike up to 1585. We know that that's a pretty crucial level of support slash resistance. The gold's been bouncing around that quite a bit, and the Dow and S&P have been hammered pretty well as well. 20 points on the S&P, about 130 on the Dow. So not a great day for those guys. We did see some much better than expected numbers for home sales. New home sales looking for 347,000, got 369. So real estate market's perking. It's perking a little bit. Coming into Tuesday, we have some consumer confidence reports, along with a couple other UK bits of news. We have durable goods out of the US. And then coming into Thursday, we've got unemployment claims and so on. And just, the EU summit's going on, and that's definitely quite a little situation. So there's a lot of things in the works right now. We should have some pretty decent news for the rest of this week, so we'll keep an eye on that. Quick little look here. So here is our trade on the euro dollar last night. We got in right at this 125.30 area. Let the market kind of open below and then got in on a little bit of a pullback and took that thing down very, very nicely. Some good pips on that. So now what we're looking for is, once again, we're coming back to this 125 kind of 25.30 area. The euro dollar, it's important to note on the 4-hour chart that it's been working this channel very, very nicely. And then we had a nice break of that channel coming into the end of last week, kind of middle to the end of last week. A little bit of consolidation, a nice continuation down. There's a lot of expectations that the euro might bounce and start heading back up from here. The only thing I was curious about is coming into this area kind of right here, is if the euro was going to make a run into 12800. Looks like that anything's possible, but it's looking a little bit less likely. It is coming down into a lot of consolidation. Remember, we're in summer markets, volume's quite a bit lower, so we have this kind of zone right here of support and consolidation, and that runs between about 124.60 and about 125.25 area. So there's lots of trouble in there, so it's going to be interesting to see how this euro goes, but it sure looks like it's got some good momentum, and it's out of this channel pretty nicely. I'm looking for a nice continuation down here. So what I'm going to keep my eyes on is if the euro can get back up to this 125.25. I think we're going to have to give up a couple of pips, and I want to see if we can get an entry to buy above this 125.25 and take it back up into some of these highs of about 125.60, 70, 80. I think we've got a good chance of that. So there's some good pips in there, 40 to 60 pips in this little run right here above 125.25. So I'm going to be looking at that and for that and getting ready for a little bit of movement there. Otherwise, if we don't get anything, there's always some small little movements to kind of keep an eye on. You can see that we've got some little trend lines in the works here, and so I'm going to be keeping my eyes on anything that we might see in this general area as far as breakouts go. But really what I'm looking for is that run up to 125.25 and either a bounce or a break. So that's what we're going to be keeping our eye on there. Pound dollar, not super interested in the pound dollar. This thing's a little bit kind of blah. It's gotten pretty choppy. One thing to note is that it's coming out of the channel pretty nicely, bouncing around up and down between this channel. It's coming out nicely, but just like the euro, it's coming into a range of kind of support slash resistance. So the pound had a really hard time getting above this a couple weeks ago, made a nice little run up to the top of the channel, and now it's having a hard time getting below this. So there's some pretty strong levels in this kind of 155.50 to about 15600 area. There's about 50 pips of majorness that if we can get past that, I think we should get a nice continuation down. We're getting into the choppy summer markets. We've had a big double bottom on the pound. I think it'll probably go and retest that low that you can see on the daily chart here, somewhere around the 152, 15300, 152.80, 15300. But really what I'm looking for right now, if we get a break above about this 155.90, 156 area, then I think we're going to have a nice little run of 35 to 40 pips into about this 156.30. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking for this to get back down below this 155.50, and we should have ourselves a decent little sell opportunity to take it back down below that. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on and kind of going for. So we'll see how that goes. Euro yen's looking pretty good. The euro yen has done the exact same thing as everything else, which is come out of these big 4-hour channels. They're coming out very nicely, but euro yen is coming into big support right here. This is about 9,900 area. That's big support, and once again we have a range, so about 98.65 to 9,900. We have about a 35, 35 to 45 pip channel. Depending on a couple of these little areas here that are going to be kind of tough to get past. We got to keep our eye on that. So what I'm looking for here is if we get a little bit of retracement, I just marked the high of this range to the low, and we could see this thing run up into just about the 100 point 10 20 area into that 38% fib. We could see some of that happen, so we could have 50 60 70 pips further of retracement. However, I'm just looking at this thing. If we get this starting to come back down again and we get a break of 9,900, I'll be shorting at 9,900. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking for some sell opportunities up here around the 100.10 to about 100.40 area on the euro yen. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking for right now. So keep an eye on that whole situation. Pound yen had a nice little breakout, not really looking at too much there. Aussie dollar's been a little bit interesting. Again, going to the 4-hour chart, broke out of the channel nicely, just like everything else did, so that was great. Coming into some it's having a hard time at this level right here, and so this level is very important to keep an eye on, and this is just kind of that parity. This is just basically parity. Had a heck of a time getting above it, made a nice break, and now it's just kind of consolidating right at it, a little bit below, a little bit above. So we need to find a nice little run. If we can get some momentum away from that parity and break some of these lows down here around the 99.80, that could be good. Or I think that we've got some possible opportunities to buy this thing as well. I'm not really feeling the Aussie dollar a lot right now, so I'm just being a little extra cautious on that one. And gold's going to be able to help tell us the story a little bit. Gold is right back at 1585. Look at 1585. This has been a very crucial level. Test. All the way back here, you can see tests and over and over again. It tests, breaks, test, breaks, test, and here it is right back up there again. So if we get a break above 1585, we should see a run into that 1600, 1605 area, and that should help kind of propel some of the euro dollar, pound dollar pairs, Aussie dollar pairs a little bit higher. Otherwise, if this starts to head back down again, then we'll probably just see a nice breakdown of these pairs. But once again, very nice runs. We had that nice little break of 125.25 on the euro dollar last night, and the nice break of 100.30 on the euro yen. And unfortunately, I only took this thing for 30 pips. You can see that it ran about 100, about 113 from where we got in. So really nice run, great pips, just a great start to the week. So we'll kind of keep our eye on that, see how everything goes, and take it from there. I'll see you guys in the chat. Keep an eye on Twitter, and I'll have some more updates and information coming out. Take care, everyone.